One of the most confusing things about Fallout 4 for me is why the combat rifle was chambered in the pistol caliber 45 ACP when actual rifle bullets like the 5.56 and 308 are so common. At face value, it doesn't make much sense, but I have a few theories for this, and the first being the combat rifle was specifically designed for trench raiding. This would make a lot of sense when you remember that the Sino-American War was mostly attritional, with massive trench systems surrounding Anchorage, Alaska, creating an environment reminiscent of the Western Front of World War I, where intensive close quarters fighting was the regular, except it's a lot colder. And this is an environment where a normal sized rifle like the R91 or Chinese assault rifle might be too cumbersome and not well suited for quickly moving through and fighting in the close confines of a trench system during an attack. And this is where the combat rifle could shine, because this rifle was typically found as a short-barreled carbine and often has a cut-down stock that would make it easy to carry in the claustrophobic environment of a trench. I don't see this gun being used normally for day-to-day defensive operations. The assault rifle will be much better in the defensive role in all-out attacks because of its superior ballistics, where the 45 ACP would fall flat on its face, or more aptly has a very steep slope down as the fat and slow round quickly loses velocity when it leaves the barrel, while the 5.56 has a much flatter trajectory. But bullet drop isn't a concern when your target is within spitting distance and you can simply shoot in the general direction within a trench. And this also goes to explain why the combat rifle's iron sights are a simple fixed V notch in front post. You're not expected to shoot at anything beyond 50 feet down a hallway, so adjustable sights are not needed. However, a problem that might come up is if the 45 ACP has enough stopping power to reliably put someone down. To which I say, maybe. The carbine length barrel appears to be around 10 inches long, which a 230 grain 45 ACP leaves with 432 foot-pounds of energy. That seems like quite a bit of power, but pales in comparison to a 55 grain 5.56, which has 1,282 foot-pounds from a 20-inch barrel, or the 168 grain 308 with 2,631 foot-pounds of energy from a 24-inch barrel. So stopping power is a potential concern to worry about. However, this deficit is made up by volume of fire. Each military-issue combat rifle would certainly be fully automatic, shooting around 600 to 700 rounds per minute in a relatively controllable spray that is perfect for close quarters battle. But more specifically, I can see these carbines being used to sweep the Chinese out of the trenches with overwhelming firepower, just like how the Thompson submachine gun or MP18 were originally envisioned to do with shock troopers. And together with combined warfare doctrine, where shock units on the attack using combat rifles in this manner would be supported by power armor troopers, as I explained in this video here, would make for a deadly combination. A secondary benefit for the combat rifle would be cost effectiveness. The 45 ACP is cheaper to produce than the 5.56 or 308, requiring less material, time, and effort per round, while the gun itself is lighter and cheaper as well, which is huge during the cash-strapped times of the resource wars, where the price and scarcity of essential materials was rising quickly, so replacing what guns you can with a less expensive alternative saves resources. Personnel like guards on a base or prison and truck drivers don't necessarily need to have a rifle caliber gun when a pistol caliber carbine can fill the role just fine, freeing assault rifles up for the frontline troopers. So two final questions remain for me. Why develop a brand new firearm when weapons like the Thompson and 10mm SMG are common across America? Well, to start, the Thompson has quite a bit of recoil because of its direct blowback operation that sends a heavy bolt back after every shot and throws the center of balance off. Also, the Thompson is expensive and complex to manufacture, making it less than ideal for widespread usage. The 10mm SMG, on the other hand, may have been too fragile, expensive, unwieldy, or unreliable in the Arctic cold and muddy conditions of Anchorage to fulfill this role like the combat rifle does. And finally, why use the 45 ACP over the 10mm auto? The 10mm is slightly more powerful than the 45, with more energy and a flatter trajectory behind it, and this round was already the standard American pistol caliber by the time of the Sino-American War. So why wouldn't they chamber the combat rifle for that? And I think it has to do with bolt expansion, penetration, and recoil. The smaller diameter and higher velocity of the 10mm auto means it bores deeper within a target. While fighting someone using body armor, this attribute may be desired, but against a non-armored target like the typical Chinese soldier, there is the possibility of punching all the way through a person and coming out the other side with a good amount of energy still, and what is called over-penetration, which can then hit a second person. And during a chaotic attack with many shock troopers all jumping into the same trench line at once, that second person could easily be your friend. The 45 ACP gets around this by being fat and slow, almost immediately deforming upon impact and mushrooms out when it hits, decreasing the chance of over-penetrating substantially. Other than this, the outright power of the 10mm means more recoil that is compounded by the high rate of fire, and this may have been seen as excessive for the job requirements. The FBI in our world thinks so too and dropped the 10mm because of sharper recoil. On an external view though, not trying to justify the gun in-game, it could be because the devs just wanted to add another round and decided the legendary 45 ACP would make a perfect addition into the game, so they chambered the combat rifle in the 45 to make the round relevant. To conclude, the reason why the combat rifle was natively chambered in the 45 ACP is so the rifle could be small, light, and mobile for shock troopers to easily move around with, while also being powerful enough to sweep the trenches clear of commies. That's my thoughts at least on the combat rifle. Let me know what you think down below in the comments section, and don't forget to like and subscribe as well, and I will see you in the next video.